Yeah, the dinner table was definitely a chess table.
Mm.
You had to pick what words you said right and what words to avoid or like what topics to avoid. Yeah,
So is that like we're rolling, by the way.
that's fine.
I figured you knew, but I just wanted to be clear on that. Did you was it like an everyday occurrence of I know you've talked about it, but like walking on eggshells?
Uh, I would say like 80% of the time. We knew she had like something wrong. We knew she was crazy, obviously, but she was like good crazy and like bad crazy and like scare the crap out of you crazy. But she normally like stayed in her room a lot of the times and laid in bed, watched TV, did whatever she, wanted to do. But it,
Did she have like real big eyes?
yeah,
Oh,
big piercing green eyes. Like I get my eyes from her, but hers were more like yellow. So it was like when you're talking to someone, it's like the Erica Kirk effect.
oh God.
Like, like it was really bad.
Great reference there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the like relating it to psychology and stuff. That's like a sign. Like when you can see the whites below, or I can't remember if it's below and above, but
yeah,
if it's
definitely.
just like all the time like that.
Yeah, it was not like how do I put it? Didn't remind me of like schizophrenic stuff. Like she was very like warm-hearted, but like bipolar.
Yeah.
Bipolar. Like she'd be like up here and then down here and then back up here again. Like why are y'all upset? Like
And I'm guessing it was undiagnosed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know I have like some stuff. Like I know I have like undiagnosed like depression and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but like I refuse to be
Yeah.
diagnosed.
Everybody's got a little something.
Yeah, everyone's got something. If not, then they're probably the craziest ones.
Probably.
You never know.
Yeah. I think that was, I mean, like how old is your, I guess your dad, because he'd be pretty close in age to your mom.
I want to say he's in his 50s.
Okay. Yeah.
He's in his 50s, probably like maybe almost 60. I don't know. He was always a little bit older. He was a little bit older.
But like
Yeah.
that generation, there's just like, there's no, I guess it just wasn't a thing to get diagnosed or whatever back then. And
Mm-mm.
so there's, that's just the way they are. It's just the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like my family hardcore.
Yeah.
It's just the way they are. You gotta like accept them for who they are. And if you're the one setting boundaries and you're the one, bettering yourself, you're the villain.
Yeah, you're the crazy one.
Yeah.
Then we have somebody to point to.
Yeah. Scapegoat.
Yeah, there you go. The
Yep.
black sheep.
Mhm.
Is that why you dye your hair black?
Yeah. No. I'm just kidding. It just
Just
fits me
play
better.
into it? Yeah.
Yeah, I had my hair blonde for the longest time, but like my hair was not growing. And like now, ever since I started doing my hair at home, box dyeing it black, it's like all the way down to here now.
Yeah.
But it was like all the way up to here. So
There you go.
it just fits me well. It makes my eyes pop more. And then my natural hair color is like brown. I gotta dye my roots, as every woman's problem.
Mhm. I know. I'm so glad that's something I ain't got to worry about.
I know, right?
It's nice. It's nice being a man sometimes.
Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Um, so just I guess speaking about parents, what's it? You got a little girl that was in here earlier.
Yes,
Cute as a button.
my little pride and joy,
Yeah.
what they say. She's 3 and definitely hitting her teenager phase
Mm.
and definitely hitting her. But why? But why?
What do you do with those questions?
Well, I give her the full answer.
Really?
Why is the sky blue? Well, here's the thing about outer space. And she's just like, oh, like, she's, patience is key. My God, patience is key with kids. And if you don't have patience, which obviously for some other people, they don't have patience.
Hmm.
But if you don't have patience, then it's not for you. Like, it's a learning curve. Like, I'm a parent for the first time, but she's also new to the world.
Hmm.
She's a child for the first time, you know? And I just, I try not to take everything for granted. But she what was it the other day? I'm trying to think of like a case scenario where she was like, but why? But why? But why? But why? On the way here,
Oh.
the car shows that they normally have here.
Hmm.
Um, she said, "Where's the cars?" I said, "We're not here for the car show. Mommy has a podcast." What's that? It's where like we sit down and talk for a while. We try to like explain things, different point of views, etc., etc. And she was like, "But why are the cars aren't here?" And I'm like, Payson, I'm like, today isn't the car show day.
Yeah.
But why? It's not raining. I said, Payson, I said, I have them like every other Saturday, and today is not Saturday and it's not the day. But why isn't it Saturday? Okay. Sometimes you just gotta tone it out and
Let's
let her
let it.
do her own thing.
Yeah.
But
Do
no.
you think it's like, I'm, I feel like those things start for curiosity, and then they're like, oh, this is fun. Like, she's answering me, and I can just
Yeah.
keep on going.
Yeah, her speech when she became like cognitively aware,
Hmm.
her speech, like they make jokes about waking up one day and your child speaking full sentences. It's not a joke. They do it. Like,
Really?
oh my gosh. She like the other night she looked at me and Joshua, and because her crib is in our bedroom with us because she's too scared to sleep in her room by herself. But she's 3. But also, when am I ever going to get that chance back? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Um,
Yeah, if it's like 18 and she's still curled up in a crib in your room, maybe sit down
yeah,
and have a talk.
yeah. I think when she's older, like 5, we'll be
Yeah.
like, all right, Gucci boot,
Yeah.
like we'll like slowly migrate your crib like out of the house.
Yeah.
But gosh, where was I getting at?
Um, she's speaking full sentences.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She The other night, me and Joshua were laying in bed, and she goes, "All right." She goes, "Good night, y'all. Love you." We've never heard her like say like "Good night, y'all," like referring to me and Joshua. She'll say "Good night, mommy," "Good night, daddy." She said "Good night,
Really?
y'all," and I was like, I looked at Joshua, and he looks at me. He's like, "I'm about to cry," and I was like, "No." And you know, like she can hold a good conversation now. Like obviously when she got here, like she's super shy.
Yeah.
Super shy. Unless if there's another kid in the room, she's like, "Hey, let's go play." Like she's just like Joshua.
Mm.
When it comes to not knowing a stranger with other kids, like she's like, "Do you want to play?" Like, "Hey, my name's Payson," and I'm just like, "Girl, you ain't like me then," because I was a heavy introvert. Like, I was
Yeah.
not. I was always like, everyone was out to get me. Like, you know, I did not make good friends as a kid. That was just my personality. Kind of. That was me. But glad she has a very open personality.
Hmm.
But
So when will she start school? And are you excited about that?
I'm very excited, and she starts school when she turns 5, so it's in a couple years.
Yeah.
But I signed her up for pre-K 3 homeschooling, and I wanted to like delve into that because I could go on a whole topic about the school system
Oh yeah.
nowadays. Oh my God. About how like it's a battlefield.
It's a
The
battlefield?
Yeah, with
Why do you
all
use that
all
word?
the school shootings and everything.
Oh,
Like I
that.
am like as a
Yeah,
mother,
not
like I
even
am
analogy. Yeah.
like so like afraid of something like that, and obviously if I have the opportunity to like do the best, not the bare minimum, the best for her, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna like attempt homeschooling you, which is why I signed her up this early at 3. And if I like it and it works good and I see she's learning and like she's very smart for her age, very smart. And well, her doctor says she's what was the word?
Advanced?
Advanced.
Is that
And
right?
yep, that was exactly right. She is very advanced, especially like in height and like up here and everything. She if it works out good, then I'm gonna keep homeschooling her all the way
Yeah.
until, she's graduated, whatever. But if it doesn't work out, at least I started when she was early
Yeah.
and I'm not danking up her kindergarten year and setting her back and all this other stuff. So, yeah, that'd be a moment where we'll see. But she's, starting to write her name and like writing the alphabet and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh.
I just had a, I didn't have it, but my sister just had a baby, so I have
Mhm.
a nephew now, and he was born in February, so it's 3 months now. Oh yeah, he just has a little 3 month day,
Babies.
yesterday or a few days ago.
Aw.
He's so cute, and I just can't like, I can't imagine hearing him be like, "All right, bye, I'll see you next time," or whatever. Like that's gonna be crazy.
It makes you happy. Like
Yeah,
it is such a joy. Like just waking up and having that gift beside you.
mm,
Just it's undescribable until you actually like feel it yourself.
yeah.
Like it's a hard way to describe it.
When did you realize like you wanted to be a parent?
After I met Joshua, I did not want kids before him.
Like at all?
Mm-mm. Didn't care. I was too scared about generational trauma. And after I met him, it was like he's a gentle man, you know? He's a good person. And I was like, I want kids with him because I know he's going to be present, active. He's going to show up. He's going to show humility. And because he's a man where, like, if we're arguing about something, he's like, hey, you know, I'm sorry for that. I got too worked up. I'm going to go calm down and we can continue this. Like, he is very well raised. Thank God for his mom and dad, period.
Yeah.
And, I was like, I want children with him, which after having Payson, I'm like, I don't know, that might be my one and done. Like, pregnancy with her was so hard and, like, it really messed up my ribs because she was 8 pounds, 4 ounces.
Uh,
And I was 105 pounds when I got pregnant with her.
Oh
So my body was like, we're going to make room.
God.
She was in my lungs, my ribs. Like, it was excruciating. And given the fact of how big she was, but how tiny I was, I gained 60 pounds, by the way, when I was pregnant with her. She, what was it? Whenever I gave birth to her, like, I was pushing for like 2.5 hours.
Hmm.
And, like, each time, like, I got done pushing, I would, like, pass out. They'd be like, Taylor, wake up. You gotta keep pushing. I'd be like, okay, let me go again.
Yeah.
I'd push again. I kept trying to go back to sleep. And they were like, your blood pressure is through the roof. Like, you need to get this baby out now. And I was like, okay. So finally, I got her out. But when I got her out, her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck twice the
Hmm.
whole time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so it took her a minute to start crying and, like, get her breath or whatever. But once she was out, she was fine. And I was like, oh gosh, because my epidural wore off on the left side of my body, which, it's where they numb you, like, waist down, so you don't feel anything.
Right.
Well, I felt my left side and it hurt so bad. Like, it felt like it was on fire, like my bones were physically like breaking.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, technically they are, like, whenever your pelvis like goes apart or whatever, but I was like, I know. I was like, how bad did I tear? And they were like, you didn't tear at all. And I was like, what? And they were like, well, it's because you were pushing for 2.5 hours. It's normally when they come flying out when you first start pushing,
Oh,
but it was just voila. Voila. You know what she did as soon as she came out of me? She pooped on me. I
awesome.
had all this poop on me. And I was like, you know what, girl? Me too. Like, you probably would have rather stayed in me other than this coming in this cruel world. Like,
Yeah.
that was your big, screw you for bringing me out.
That's a great way to make an entrance.
Yeah. Yeah. I will always remember that. It was funny. And Joshua, he had cried so hard, his nose was bleeding. And
He told me that.
the nurses were like, get behind him. He's about to pass out. I'm like, no, his nose bleeds all the time. Like, literally, probably like twice a month, it'll just randomly bleed. And I'm like, you need to get that checked.
That is
But
scary.
he was just crying so hard his nose was bleeding, and I'm looking over here like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm just so happy.
That's wild.
It was fun.
Does he want another kid?
Yeah, but
He
I'm
didn't
just
go
like,
through that, right?
"Oh, you didn't go through anything." I'm like, "Ugh." I was like, "But, it would be a lot easier next time because we wouldn't be first-time parents
Yeah.
figuring out the world and the baby and everything. We would, have more experience,"
Mhm.
which, I mean, I would definitely have it in the bag. I mean, I breastfed Payson all the way up until she was 1, and then I stopped. I was so ready to stop because the amount of time it takes in, like, exhaustion and
Yeah.
pumping every 2 hours of every day for, like, 12 months
Mm.
was excruciating, and, I got so much time back from that, but he, forgot where I was going, but he definitely wants more kids, but I told him, I was like, we can try eventually, but I don't know if I'm like ready. Uh, but Payson would be such a good big sister
Yeah.
because I keep my niece while, my sister-in-law works, and she is so good with her. And I was like, this makes me want another kid, but I don't know, because Payson has pulled the Avery, stop looking at me.
Mm.
Stop looking at me. Mommy, she's looking at my baby doll. I'm like, dude, like, she's just a baby.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. Like,
You have no idea what she's looking at.
no.
Yeah.
But she sees you crashing out over here. And yeah, those moments I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But patience is key.
Patience. What else? What do you need to add to the list to be a good parent?
Patience, humility, definitely like need to show humility towards your kids. It does not mean weakness, first off. Righting your wrongs to them shows like so much maturity, but like makes them understand that, hey, they still love me, you know,
Mhm.
at the end of the day. Like, uh, and I would say another one would be like be humble with your children. Don't push them.
Meaning what?
I would say be humble with your children in a sense of, you know, don't push them into like a category of like, always constantly wearing like smocked expensive outfits. Like,
Oh, okay.
don't try to put them in a picture that they're not. Like let them, if my daughter wants to wear her Cinderella dress while we go out to eat, I'm gonna let her do that. I'm not gonna make her put on normal clothes just because I want her to. I'm not letting her boss me around, obviously, but like
Yeah.
just show them that you can be humble in a way. And then I'm trying to think. Patience, humility, humbleness. Hmm. Unconditional love. Not one-sided love or
Like they have to
conditioned
earn it.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family was like that.
Hmm.
Oh, if you like come and do this, we'll do this for y'all.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you get treated differently, like based on how you performed for your parents?
well, yeah, if you weren't making good grades, you were like obviously grounded, but like it was definitely different from my end, and like me and my brother were like polar opposites. So like I typically made decent grades and good grades, so that would get me in their graces, but like if I didn't, okay, there was like what was this there was this one time I don't like attention drawn to me in public places.
Hmm.
We went to Joe's Crab Shack for my birthday, and the one thing I asked was, please do not tell them it's my birthday. Well, they did.
Yeah.
They did anyways. And they wanted me to get on top of the table
Oh,
and dance. And I said no, and I started crying.
how old were you?
I think I just turned 14.
That's a wild thing
Yeah. And I
to put
was
on
like,
somebody.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And my mom like started crying and was like, obviously like, sorry, I'm such a bad mom. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
made me feel guilty for standing like on what made me feel comfortable. So like, but my brother was always down to be like, yeah, like let's go do this, let's go do that. Like, attention in public, like that is not me. That was them. But yeah, it was definitely treated differently in that aspect. But
Parenting just seems so like such a daunting thing to me. But I think it's the same thing where like you met Josh and you were like, okay, I get it now. Like
mm,
I feel like maybe I would feel that way
mm.
if I met somebody. But people I've met, it's just kind of made me not want to do it more.
Yeah, you really like you'll know when you find the right person.
Yeah.
Like God will put you in positions where you will feel out of place and you'll like sit there and like ask yourself like what am I doing? Like I'm not supposed to be here, you know? And he did for me. And then right before I had met Joshua, I was about to actually try to move down to Myrtle to live with my dad, build that connection that I never really had. Me and my brother never lived with our dad
Yeah.
growing up. It was always just weekend visits. And right before I like made the decision, I met Joshua, and I was like, "Well, never mind. Let me hang out here for a little bit." And it just all worked out, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna stay here and pursue this because like he's got a really good head on his shoulders, and he's like 3 years younger than me."
Yeah.
And so, like, but that did not occur to me because I was like, he's more mature than I am.
Mhm.
I was like, I like this dude,
Yeah.
And he kept me in line. He was like, you need to, like, because at the time I didn't have a job. I was still going to school full time, but I was like, you know how when you get towards the end, you're not going to classes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Like, it's just a few classes here and there. And that's the stage I was at before I graduated. And he, was like, "You need to, like, be serious, get a job, and or else, like, this isn't gonna work. Like, you need to show me, like, you're willing to work and you're willing to, not be lazy in a way." And I was like, "You know what? Okay, yeah, you can boss me around all you want, because that I was bossed around and told what to do my whole life, and so I never really had any, like, independence in that way.
Mhm.
So it even till this day, like I still have him tell me like what to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that and he's fine with that. And he gives me a lot of like grace and understanding because obviously like, whenever my mom had passed, you know, after I graduated high school, I didn't know how taxes worked.
Hmm.
I didn't know how insurance worked. I didn't know a lot of things. But he knew, and he was like, "Yeah, you got a lot of work to do."
It's a lot because I mean there's some advertising to um homeschool Asian now is you can actually teach her about those things that the school system will.
Yeah. The homeschooling rates keep going up every year to millions and
Yeah.
millions and millions, and I'm just like, that's amazing because, before Charlie Kirk died,
Hmm.
uh, like his biggest thing was homeschool your kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's the biggest blessing you can give. Like the greatest like piece of advice is just homeschool them,
Yeah.
teach them everything you need to know. They need to know. And like that's also why I'm so glad I have Joshua because when she turns 16, she can know what a Roth IRA is,
Yeah.
a traditional IRA, like stuff like that, like how taxes work.
Hmm.
She's going to be very well knowledge based when it comes to like economics, everything that she needs to know to get by day to day and not be like me who doesn't know how to do anything,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I feel like it's one thing every year, and it's just far more often than that, where I find something out from usually it's my friends because they're like four, three of them, three of them are like working financial jobs.
Yeah.
So like it's a separate language that they speak regarding it. And so I'll bring something up and be like, did you guys know that? whatever it is. But we were supposed to be doing this like the whole time. They're like, "Yeah, you're not doing that." I'm like, no, I just learned about it in
Yeah.
a random YouTube ad or something, and then I went down a rabbit hole and I figured out like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. But it's just, I don't know. There's so much, and they literally tell you nothing about it in school. They don't
Yeah.
even tell you about it when you do like an introductory class in college. It's just like basic descriptions of things, but not how to actually apply it. And it's so frustrating. I think we definitely could go off on the school system and just completely derail this episode.
Yeah. Let me put my metal cap on.
Yeah,
Let me put my metal cap on when I
tinfoil
say
hat.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, they're definitely like dumbing down the system.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you know what that means? Control. Yeah.
yeah.
So.
I had a his books up there, Teacher's Pupils.
Mhm.
My seventh grade teacher, Randall Christopher, one of my favorite teachers ever. He was at I won't say where he's at, just in case.
Yeah.
But I had him on, and we did. I think we did 2 episodes, and I just wanted to like find out what he thought about the school system because it was when I started like looking into it. And my mom was a teacher for a few years, and I used to joke with her like, "You should go back to teaching. Like, you'd be a good teacher." Like, she has a great way of being able to discipline kids.
They need it.
It's like, yeah, it's like there's way too many like nice teachers out there.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, you could be a great mean teacher, mom. You could do a good job. She's like, I couldn't do it now.
Really.
And so I asked Mr. Christopher about it, and he was like, we can't teach them anything now. He's like, we get told at the beginning of the school year, like, this is what's going to be on the end of the year test. And so we have to teach them all of these course materials that are here just so they can pass this test. And so I will lose my job if I don't go in and tell them how important the test is and the materials that are covered in it. And he gets like, I think he said it was like 2 or 3 weeks total out of a school year to actually do what he wants to do and teach them like about a certain book or whatever it might be. And he was like, I'm getting to where I want to quit just because we're pushing people through that can't haven't passed anything. They haven't learned anything.
Mm.
And we're lowering the standards for the grades that they have to get so that you can say, um, I don't know what the numerical value of it would be, but like, whereas 20 years ago, if you got this grade, you would not pass.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're passing with flying colors. And he's like, he said there was a kid that I think he got held back like twice that he had taught or that had, been in his class. And it wasn't because he was dumb. He just didn't do anything. He didn't apply himself. And it stemmed from home life.
Yeah.
Um, but then one year, like the next year, nothing had changed and they just moved him on. And that's what really pissed him off about it because he was like, that's the worst thing you can do for a kid.
Yeah.
And like it looks good on paper, you're like, okay, you're on to the next grade. But it's like you didn't learn anything. And so now you're being told you did okay because whatever, and you get passed on.
Time passed
Yeah,
is what
that's
happened.
right.
Time passed. That
Yeah.
is ridiculous. Nowadays, you probably ask a senior, what is the thesis of an essay? And they
Mm,
probably don't even know.
probably not.
They don't teach stuff like that anymore. I had a really good English teacher. She was very strict and she made us read really good books. But I think nowadays, isn't the school system like government based? It's not by state anymore. It's like the government does it, or is it
Yeah,
by state?
core. Is that what it is? Core. But yeah, pretty
Mm-mm.
much
Yeah. It I know it's a lot different. I
for
graduated
public
in
education.
17.
Same.
I went to a private school my whole life.
Look at you.
Oh no.
Is it worse? Do you think it's worse?
When it comes to like drug and stuff like that, like no, like
No, I like
it's
the actual educational stuff.
education was very like good and nice.
Uh,
The classrooms were a lot smaller, therefore the teachers really put in a lot of effort to each individual kid. Other than having 500 said kids, like it was more personalized. But I went to a private Christian school, but I didn't really start putting my faith in Christ until way after I graduated.
oh, really?
Yeah. Uh, the church, I'm not saying where, the church definitely hurt me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always hate hearing that.
Yeah. And I understood at a point in time that it wasn't God, it was the people, you know? And image was a big thing.
Mm,
Image was a very big thing. But, they, even the teachers were bullies.
really?
Getting in on the kids' dramas and stuff, and then, like, I don't know. Like, after my mom died, I was given, like, 2 weeks to mourn, and then after that, it was like, there was no grace, no mercy, whatever. Because my mom died over, winter break, my junior year. So, whenever I got back, you know, she died the 28th. I think I came back, like, a week after school came back, so maybe, like, January 10th, maybe? I don't know. But, I was there, and, like, for a week, my teachers gave me, like, grace and stuff like that. And after that, they, like, tried to force me and my brother was being, like, homeschooled at the time. He wasn't there. But my baby brother, they would make us go to these, like, meetings and, like, try to, like, force us to have this, like, group where we had to talk about what was going on at home and whether if, like, we felt safe. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm safe, like, I'm fine." Like, what?
This is when you were living
This is when I was
still with
living
your
with
dad?
my stepdad,
Your
yeah.
stepdad, okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, "Yeah, we're fine, like, we're chill, you know, what is the point of this group? You're not reading me scripture or telling me how to grieve. You're just trying to get the gossip.
Oh.
What's going on with my family?" And, I had a best friend at that time whose dad died a week before my mom died. We were in the same class together.
Wow.
And, like, he was in that group too with his siblings. And I remember we just looked at each other like, we are not coming back to this. So the next day, whenever they were like, all right, like, you're supposed to go to, like, such and such classroom, you know, uh, I'd look at him and be like, I ain't going. I'm like, I'm not going. I'm gonna stay here. Got sent to the office because of it, but it was okay. Like, it was a battle that I was willing to fight. And then I remember getting home and telling my stepdad, like, what had happened, and he was like, I was not aware
Yeah.
they were doing that. So
And this is
he
just the school that's conducting it.
mhm. And he
That's
he
crazy.
went up there and was like,
Yeah.
and after that they never did anything else. And if not, it was like there was some weird, like, retaliation. 'Cause, like, I had never been a trouble student.
Mhm.
I always made decent grades. When I say decent, I mean BC. I was a BC student, not an AB, not a straight A, whatever. I just made it by the bare minimum. And like, my senior year got so bad where, like, I did not apply myself whatsoever.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I mean, heck, my mama wasn't here to tell me to do my homework.
Yeah.
And my dad lived hours away. He don't, like, "Hey, you done your homework?" Like, nothing like that. And it was just like, I remember at my sports banquet that we had, which after this sports banquet, I stopped playing sports. I didn't play sports my senior year, and I played soccer my whole life and had colleges looking at me. And I sports banquet They called me and my brother up on the stage and gave us an award for, like, I don't remember the word they used, but it was a made up award. They never gave this award out at any sports banquet. And it was basically saying, congrats on, losing a parent, but still continuing to play sports during the time. Yeah.
And did you know about this beforehand?
No.
They're like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think?"
Oh. And I was just like, thanks for the reminder that she's not
That's
here.
crazy.
And, like, yeah, they could have had pure loving intentions behind it,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, y'all just wanted it to make it look like y'all care.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all really cared, y'all really would have, like, done something to help my family,
Yeah.
given the fact she didn't have a funeral. But anyways,
Did they
um,
give you, like, a plaque or something for that?
it was literally like a crystal, like, award thing. Like, it was made like
Yeah.
an actual glass crystal thing.
What's like
Me and my brother threw it away when we got home.
so the thing, like, what do? You put that up as a little reminder?
I don't know. It was just
That's
like,
crazy.
congrats for still playing sports while losing a parent. Like, no. I was like, what in the world? Anyways,
That's wild.
yeah. So I didn't play any
Yeah.
sports after that because I was like, I am not getting that award again.
I don't wanna return and claim
Yeah.
my trophy again.
Mm-mm.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, that losing your mom in high school, I know we've talked some before we started, but I know it wasn't the best relationship and wasn't the best mom, I
Yeah.
guess, but
Yeah.
that's still, like that's gotta shake you up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but it definitely, it was like you felt really lost, especially with no funeral
Yeah.
afterwards or no ceremony, no closure. It was like, we're just gonna go back to our daily lives, except she's just not gonna be here.
I mean, did she have, like, friends, or did she have people that
Oh yeah, she had
cared
friends,
about her and stuff?
and a lot of those friends did not know that she died.
Well,
Did not know that she was sick. Like, she kept it really private, which, I mean, personally, if I was on my deathbed, I would be writing my daughter a 10-page letter,
yeah,
like,
even
as
if
a
you
as
didn't
a
wanna
goodbye. I didn't we none of us got one. We were so lost. It was like, and I turned into an angry child. Angry, 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 mad at the world, mad at everyone. And the only reason I turned angry was because my whole life it was you weren't ever able to like talk back, like show your emotions in a way like you can't. Like if you're mad, you are not allowed to show like physical anger
Mhm.
whatsoever. So it's like all those bottled emotions when I was younger, just boom. So it was definitely, I think, gosh, when you go through times like that, your brain just kind of blocks it out. And so it's so hard to remember like a lot after she died. Like I think a year after she died, I don't remember anything.
Really?
Mm-mm. It gosh, I would sit in my room and like I would cry and cry and cry and like ask God like, why me? Like, I already had a crap of a childhood.
Yeah.
And now, like, she's gone. So what am I gonna do? Like, a year before she passed, like, we had just started to like start to see eye to eye, do mother daughter things, and then it was boom, too late, took it away. And I think it was after I like, moved out of the house when I really started to try to like get my life back on track. But it was it's hard to explain, especially when there's no like closure.
So how did you I mean, are you at peace with it now?
Yeah, yeah. I have definitely like healed, I sought professional help myself because my family did not be like, "Hey, like, we're gonna schedule this, like, therapist appointment for y'all because your mother just died."
Yeah.
Like, nothing. Nothing, and I was just like, "Oh, you know what? Uh, I'm gonna have to thug it out and figure it out myself."
Mhm.
And I did, and, I had the right people in my life that I sought out during that time, and I feel like God really put me there. Because whenever I moved out, I moved in with my best friend and her mom, and it was just like it was very meant to be. My best friend's mom has like an uncurable illness. Back when she was working, she got mold in her lungs. So it is like settled down a lot, but it's never going away. So like she can't do a lot of things. Like obviously she can't run, but a lot of fragrances will have her like go into like a massive like coughing spell and it would like knock her out. Anyways, what I'm getting at with this is that my best friend, her daughter was moving off to college and she was petrified of her mom being home alone.
Mm.
That's where I come in. I moved in with her and we were all like our own little family and she like it was God that put me in her life for her and then her in my life for me because I learned a whole new set of morals. I learned a whole new set of like just being honest. And it got so much better because they were like, Tay, what you went through was not normal, and I thought it was. Like I said before, when you grow up in a house on fire, you think the rest of the world is burning too. And so you get a taste of the outside world and realize, you're not the problem, it's your home life.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do better. I threw out the victimized mindset. Like, I'm not going to use that as an excuse in my life. And
Did you kinda hold on to that for a while, though?
you mean,
Like, did you adopt the victim mindset?
yeah, whenever, like, after she died, you know, I thought to myself, I could take advantage of a lot of people and make them feel bad for me just so I can get the attention that I never had as a child.
Did you think that then? Like,
Mm,
were you aware of that thought?
yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
was very aware with all of my emotions as a child. Like, I knew how to, obviously, it's like just from learning from my parents, but uh, whenever I got out of that mindset, it was just like I became like a completely different person. I threw out everything I knew. I emptied the cup just so I could start all over. And that's what I did, you know? And I was doing the best I could at the time. And, when I moved out, I didn't have anything. No car, no health insurance. Like, all I had was a free roof over my head, and that was all that I needed. And I was going to school full time. I was using my best friend's mom's car because she stayed home. She's a homebody. She don't go out and do stuff. She was like, "Sure, take my car. Like, do whatever you got to do." And my family did not like that. They did not like that I had that freedom. That I was becoming aware of
Mm,
the toxicness.
you were escaping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And my dad would call me, or like my brother would call me and be like, "You need to stop mooching off of them and go get a job. I have a job and I'm younger than you." And
yeah,
I was like, "Wow, thanks. Like, I'm going through the worst time in my life right now, and you are just adding on to it."
yeah.
And like the depression was real. And like they didn't know. They didn't care to ask me, like, "Hey, like, how you feeling? Just checking on you." No, they would call me to nag me about how I was living my life, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to school full time, and I'm staying up till 3 in the morning doing these labs." I'm like, I don't know, what you want me to do about a
Mhm.
job. Sure, I'll work from, like, 3 a.m. to like 6 a.m. and get no sleep, but
Yeah.
and get paid probably what $8 an hour at Food Line.
Yeah, then
Like
fell out of
there's
school 'cause you're
nothing,
not yeah.
and like they didn't understand that. Like they didn't go to college or anything, and so I wanted to be a big dog and go to
Mhm.
college and like get my degree, and I did, and it they got really mad and would find ways to get on to me about something. But later on down the road, I'm like, I think it was just rooted with jealousy.
Mm.
But I healed. I think me and my baby brother are the only ones that have truly healed within
Are you close with him?
very. Yeah, we're actually about to get matching tattoos when he turns 18.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. We're like very chill. He really like sees me as his main mother figure
Yeah,
because I was, parentified
yeah.
with him. I took care of him all the time. And, it was like to the point to where like I was his big sissy. I was sissy. And he would always just sleep in my room with me, you know, and we would like watch YouTube videos together.
Mhm.
And I remember one time I got in so much trouble because I let him watch like a Slender Man video. Next thing I know, I hear my mom screaming at me about letting him watch Slender Man, and I was like, you know what? Sorry about that. I won't do it again. But yeah, we're very close, and he also plays video games and stuff. So we're like, we have a little bit more in common on like the nerdy side.
Yeah. Something to
But
bond over.
yeah,
So when did you develop your relationship with God? I mean, you said you didn't do it until
yeah.
after
Uh,
leaving the church.
let's see. I think it was right after like my darkest times. Uh, I started having these really bad nightmares. Okay. And I'm talking about demonic. I knew it was a demon in my nightmare because I was living on the fence. Moreover, probably towards the fence, towards going to hell. Like I was not a good person. I tell myself I wasn't a good person just because like I felt like I was lazy
Mhm.
because that's how my family made me feel.
Yeah.
But you know, I just like I wasn't there. And I remember having this one horrifying dream where it was like nighttime. Okay. And I was like standing outside and there was this light pole. Okay. There was a tree here, a tree there, and they were like big trees full of like leaves, everything like that. And I'm like, where am I? Whatever. And then next thing I know, like I'm getting like like dragged underneath this bush. Underneath the bush there was a tombstone.
Mm.
I like before I could even get a chance to see whose name and date on it that was there. I get drugged back out. And then I'm like standing back up and I like go to walk towards the bush and I'm looking and there's no tombstone. And I'm like, what in the world? And all of a sudden, like, it gets cold, extremely cold. And I'm like trying to wake myself up and I'm not waking up. I turn around and I look and there's a man
Mm.
in a black cloak standing, like floating in the air. And like, I knew right then and there it was like demonic. I don't know how I did it in my dream, but I just start spewing. As I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, like I was spewing Bible verses. And that figure is like warping whatever, and it like screeches, let out the loudest screech, and like shoots up in the air and like goes away. And I'm like, okay, I did my thing, you know? In the trees, the whole time, it wasn't leaves, it was all kinds of flying demons that were sitting on the branches,
Oh
and they
my
all
god.
follow after him. Trees are empty, bare, they're dead. And then as I'm like literally shaking the light, one light pole, pop, it goes out. I wake up. I roll over in my bed. There is this figure
No.
right there. Look, I'm not kidding. I have chills right now talking about it again.
That's wild.
It was like standing right there, like this black figure with big red bulging eyes, and they were like watery. And like I wake up again.
I hate that.
I wake up again, and the power's out. I go to turn my light on. Nothing was there. I like walk in the living room where my best friend's mom was sleeping at the time. And I'm like, Christy, wake up. Christy, wake up. Like, I need you to wake up or whatever. And she wakes up and I'm telling her what happened. And she was like, Tay, you need to get right with the Lord. And I was like, how did you know? Like, and she was like, you need to get right. She was like, you have every potential. She was like, you need to, you know, either like start going to church. And I was like, I'm not going to church. Like, church hurt me. Like, all they ever do is like judge you
Mhm.
for everything. Like, if you don't fit the narrative, you're getting talked about. And I was like, I'll just start looking up stuff online. And, uh, I had at the time, I don't know, you know who Bryce Crawford is? He's like,
I might know his face. Is he like
uh,
an internet preacher or whatever?
mm,
Okay.
him. I like came across him and I was like, okay. And I got into like his Romans series.
Okay.
And I think it's like Romans like 8:18. It's like, no matter what pain you're feeling now does not compare to the joy you're going to feel in the future. And that right there,
The young guy. Okay.
it really clicked with me. And I was like, you know what? I said, I see hope. I'm starting to see hope and I'm starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. And uh, not long after that was when I met Joshua. So I had gotten right with the Lord right before I
Yeah, he was
met him.
preparing you.
Mhm. And it's like he was waiting for me
Yeah.
to get on that side of the fence with him to
Yeah.
give me my gift.
Dang.
And like it all works out. And like I I would like I said before, I would go through everything I went through before, just to know he was waiting for me at the end,
Yeah.
you know. But I really developed the mentality, not everything's a part of God's plan. That I feel like it's hard to tell someone that, especially when they feel like nothing but beat down, beat down, beat down. Like, Lord, I know you give your strongest battles to your strongest warriors, but this one needs a break.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is definitely a purpose in everything that happens in your life.
There you go.
They're like,
I think that's a big distinction to make.
hmm
And you can get in trouble if you don't do that.
hmm you you got to look at it in different perspectives and different contexts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like whenever I met him, it was like this light that came up, and I knew I was like, it's like God was like, okay, you can breathe now.
Mm.
You know, you can rest. Like, it's okay. And I was like, yeah, I can catch a break. I don't have to live in fight or flight. Like, it it was nice. It was a nice feeling. And like as I like mature still, like, I'm 27 and I'm still learning about the Lord. I learned a lot in school, obviously.
Yeah.
But I never applied any of it until like I started making that connection. That's why I love that verse, you know. And I remember I worked out at a pharmaceutical plant. Okay, well our we had like a really devastating trial fail. Okay, so they had a massive layoff. I'm talking thousands of people. A massive layoff.
I remember that.
And I was home. I was getting severance because I was out there for a hot minute. So I was getting paid for almost a year just to be at
Dang.
home. Very good. My husband was like, you need to find another job. Like, and I had like, I was applying at other pharmaceutical companies and I was like, I'm just not enthusiastic about it.
Mm.
I'm like, it's not even the fact that I just like want to stay home with Payson, which I mean I did, but it was like I feel like this isn't my calling. And whenever me and Joshua got together, we kind of agreed, like we were like more like 50-50. Both of us work, both of us pay bills, both of us clean, both of us do whatever. But he like had something come over him and was like, why don't you just stay home? Stay home. You're a great mother. Keep teaching Payson. Keep raising her. I would much rather you raise her than a stranger in a daycare. And that, like, I was just like, really? Like, are you, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, you really are giving, like, this woman her dreams. Like, and, my best friend's mom was like, Tay, you'd make a good housewife. And, like, she was telling me that long before, like, I had met him or whatever. Because, like, I like to work, but I also saw myself being a housewife. But never did I think he was going to let me do that. And I was like, thank you, Lord. I'm like, you're definitely working. And, I'm like so grateful for the blessings I have. But like, there's also times where like my faith is like up in the air, where I'm like, stuff's been a little too good for too long. When is something bad gonna happen? Who's gonna die? You know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, is something gonna happen to my husband? My child?
Like it
Like,
can't be this good. It's been good too long.
but when I like fear those thoughts, which is anxiety,
Yeah.
when I fear those thoughts, I have to remember, I always tell myself, Jesus is real. Jesus is real. Jesus is real. He's real. And I need to put my faith in him because no matter what happens, there's something in the long run that's going to correlate with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have a purpose. I was like, okay. And that's kind of like how I get over like my anxiety episodes in a way.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's what he says to do is place all your anxieties and depressions at my feet.
mm,
It ain't meant for us.
no, no,
We're not designed that way.
no.
I think that's why I, I don't even think, I know that's why it's so rampant now. Obviously, it's been going on forever, but everybody is dealing with these things and they're being made aware of them now. So now we have the information overload of social media and widespread internet use, and everybody's got access to it.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody's self diagnosing and they're
Mm-hmm.
seeking out, okay, I have all of these issues.
Yeah.
Where can I go to get help? If you ever looked that up on the internet, I ain't done it yet, but I'm sure the first thing that's coming up is not going to be Jesus. You know, it's going to be, oh, well, we have these drugs. Oh, well,
Oh
we
my
have we
gosh.
have therapists. And nothing against those things, but if that is where you think you're going to feel the, I don't like, I dealt with depression for 15, 17 years
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know it. It was kind of like you, where it's like, it hit me and it hit me hard. And then I was like, oh man, it's been going on forever.
Yep.
Um, and I tried, I did therapy. And it helped. It helped me, like, it made it tangible, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
for the solution for it.
Mm-hmm. He gave you an explanation in a way.
Yeah. Um, but like, I don't know. I think if you're using the world or a product that came out of the world to fill a spiritual need, you're not like it's never really going to get solved. Because I've talked to a whole lot of people that are on anxiety meds, that are on bipolar meds. Obviously, some you got to have something to
Yep.
zero you out, but like depression meds and stuff, it don't really seem to be working.
Mm-mm. It,
Um,
it makes it worse, in my
yeah,
opinion. I've lost friends by telling them, like, hey, you really don't need that. God has everything
yeah,
for you. And, like the little Gideon Bibles that would get handed out in the beginning, there's a whole, not introduction, but like glossary
Mm.
on if you're dealing with alcoholism. These verses are for you. If you're dealing with anxiety, these verses are for you. And it gives a whole list.
Everything's in there.
Like it's in there for you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think it just frustrates people to no end to be given, like, if it's an easy thing to say, right?
Mhm.
Uh, To dumb it down, you need Jesus,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And so being given such a simple solution to what they've been told is a complex problem, it doesn't
Mhm.
make sense.
No.
It doesn't get the gears going. You're like,
Mm-mm.
well, that can't be. No, that's silly. That's crazy.
Yep.
And you just deny, deny, deny. It can't be that. It can't be that.
Mm. They think it's like much, much more.
Yeah.
And
And I did the same thing. That's where I'm
mhm.
thinking from. Like, I
Mhm.
know it well.
Yeah. It how do I put it? Whenever I would try to like tell my friends, because they would be like, "Hey, like, I'm really depressed. Money's tight. I'm not happy with my life." And I'm like, "Well, look, like, let me try to help you get another job, but also let me read you this verse.
Mm.
Like, have faith in him. You're gonna have ups and downs, but you're gonna come out so much stronger." And they'd be like, "Nah, I'm gonna go hop on Vyvanse." And I was like, "Okay, you do you. Like, sorry." But like,
Yeah.
whatever can help you get through the day, because I'd much from experience would much rather you be here
Right.
than not.
Yeah.
Don't let it take you over. And it's very like hard to feel worth whenever you don't have a good like community or village around you. But I just think back like anytime like I'm having a really hard time, like I think back, The Passion of the Christ, that movie.
I've
Like,
actually never seen that. I don't know.
well, just prepare to cry and prepare to
Oh, I'm
feel
sure.
really bad
Sure.
because that movie doesn't even interpret what really happened.
Uh-uh.
They can't show it in movies. And I'm just like, he did that for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
makes me very sad that that happened, but he did it for us.
Yeah.
So, like, keep living for him
Right.
and let him see your purpose,
Uh-huh.
you know? But,
Yeah.
ugh.
There was a podcast I listened to recently of a like Bible historian, theologian, and who's like studied the shroud of, what is it? Shroud of uh, goodness.
I know what you're talking about.
Torin?
Yeah, you're right. The shot of
Torin? Is that
Thorin.
it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Um, and just he's very knowledgeable of it. And so he dove into what crucifixions were like back then.
Mhm.
And even just the explanation of what they would do as a regular crucifixion is haunting.
Mhm.
But then they did it ample and tenfold to Jesus. And that's one of the things where, like, it's documented. It's that happened. You
Mhm.
can, I mean, you're welcome, which God gave you the free will to do it. You're welcome to deny that He is the Son of God, that He is God in man's flesh. But you're not allowed to deny that it happened,
No,
because it did.
there's evidence.
Yeah,
Every bit of evidence.
yeah.
And
It's a powerful thing to do.
mhm, that's why I came across this one friend once, and she was atheist, and I was like, explain to me why. Because a lot of atheists start off being Christian
Mm.
and get hurt so bad to the point to where they're like, well,
By the church. Yeah.
let me just go over here because obviously, like, my life is crap, so there's like no such thing. And I was like, the church hurt you, God didn't have, not God, Jesus didn't have a good experience either. In fact, they killed him, you know?
In the worst way possible.
And like it like opened up her eyes in a different aspect. I'm like, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian.
Mhm.
It is all about your relationship up in here, whether y'all are homies or not. And me, we're tight, you know, and
Yeah, that was the
there's
thing.
always something I learn.
That was something I like reading in the notes you sent. It's like I may not look the part, but me and Jesus are pretty tight.
Yes.
A great line.
Yes. Like I definitely get talked about for my tattoos, and it's just like, the Bible does talk about tattoos and how they're a sin, but you need to read it in context.
Hmm.
And that was part of ceremonial law. Ceremonial law was abolished when he died on the cross. And, you didn't have to sacrifice animals for your sins anymore. And, they were literally, marking themselves, worshiping, satanic
Yeah.
gods. And that's what they were doing it for back then. Now it's different,
Hmm.
like different context, different everything. And gosh, what was it? Was it John? I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Fear of the Lamb. Gosh, I saw it on social media not too long ago, but it's been just long enough to where I can't remember. But like, do it for the Lord, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't say I look the part, but I'd definitely be the one going to church, probably wearing a black dress.
Yeah.
Not your like Sunday best, like floral, like whites, whatever, but I'm not there to impress other people.
Yeah.
I'm there to learn and I'm there for him.
Yeah.
And it's on other people who want to judge me for it because trust me, I've had some side eyes, been looked up and down.
Yeah. It's a, you seem to have a good level of discernment.
Yeah.
Um, that was something that I started praying for and, ask into his name and it shall be given to you. And I made the mistake. The first big one I prayed for as a character trait was patience, and he gave it to me. But the
Yeah.
fun thing about God's gifts is he doesn't just go, all right, here you go, you're equipped with it now. You go through the
He's going to
fire.
put you through trials
Exactly.
to give you patience. You got
Exactly.
to figure it out on your own. But he's going to help you, but in his way, not
Yeah.
your way,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Um, and I did it with discernment, and it's made me. It's good that I got patience first
Hmm.
because getting discernment will frustrate you to no end. Just walking around and seeing the world through a lens that, I, man, it's
Yeah.
dark. And so then you got to be patient so you don't just hide away and just be like, I'm
Yeah,
never
like, yep,
stepping foot outside again.
peace out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But with the discernment, like I'm the same way with church. Right now, I I tried going to church again last week.
Hmm.
I just moved, and so I was gonna go try a new church. And I get there, and it's like walking through a mall.
Mm.
Like
Okay, yeah.
there's like a big stage. There's bright flashing lights everywhere. There's big screens. It's so uh
Bam!
yeah, and it's so like
Overwhelming.
overwhelming,
Mhm.
but it's also very convenient that every person that's on the stage just happens to be like very well dressed and an attractive person. Like you don't ever see in these kind of churches, you don't ever see like the fat ugly dude up there belting some soul tunes.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you go to the right church, they'll be up there. They'll be
Yes.
singing their butt off.
Yes.
But I went in and the whole time I was like, all right, my mind is wandering and it's just noticing everything.
Hmm.
Because the first thing I did when I got there was I smelled coffee and I was like, oh, that'll be good. And I
Yeah.
was expecting like walking out.
I know what you're
There'd be
talking
a
about.
little end table and just pour it and you're done.
Yeah.
There's a line,
Yeah.
like
Coffee
counters.
stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's donuts and it's like going into a mall.
You remember the one and only time Jesus flipped the tables?
Hmm.
That is what made me think of it.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we doing this within the church? You know,
Yeah.
why you got t-shirts up on the walls, you got coffee, you got all kinds of other stuff. And I was like, I was like, mega churches, there's like some out there that probably mean very wholesomely,
Mm.
but I'd rather stick to the small town Southern Baptist one that's right down the road that maybe has less than 200 people.
Mm.
Uh, there was this one female pastor, I forgot her name, but this is why mega churches get really bad reps. And she was like, the Lord is telling you right now, you need to donate $3,000.
Yeah.
Put $3,000 in, or I will not touch you to heal you. Like, I was like, what? I was like, that is so, like, I was flabbergasted. I was jaded. I said, and people fall for this?
Yeah. So they buy in.
Yeah. Well, that church that I went to, which I mean, I don't go anymore. I went a couple times because friends invited, and we were like, yeah, I'm always down.
Mm.
It's a new experience. You know when it's weird whenever they're pushing money. And oh, if you
Throw a
don't, if
QR
you,
code up on the screen. You're like, what are we doing?
if you don't have cash on you now, scan this QR code and you can donate
Yeah.
digitally. I'm like, no, I have 20 bucks.
Yeah.
I have only 20 bucks in my wallet. That's what I'm gonna give,
Yeah.
you know? And I just, and I really don't feel like donating to said church who also doesn't provide where the money's
Mm.
going. Like, you're supposed to keep the books open completely to the church. Some don't. Where was I getting at? If I don't feel like it's going to a right cause,
Yeah.
like, I don't feel like donating is gonna make me think that God's gonna bless me more. The
Right.
more money I give, the more blessings.
Yeah.
Some people have it twisted and like
Yeah.
think that way. And I'm like, no, God just tells you to donate what you can. Be a generous giver, like a happy giver, and have joy in it when you do it. Don't treat it like a chore. God's gonna lay it on your heart. You know, if you have 100 bill in your wallet, and if He puts it in your heart to put it in that cup,
Yep.
I'll do it. But nah, there's some churches out there that really hurt people.
Yeah.
So
And it's so there's a podcast, don't let me forget, that I'm gonna share with you that
okay,
it's it'll blow your mind.
okay,
It's a guy that investigates all these churches.
yeah,
And he's like a strong Christian. Like he he brought up that it was the same thing was like, I don't know where the money's going. And so he just goes to this church and he's like, hey, I'm thinking about coming to church here and um, obviously you donate when you go to a church. If you feel compelled to do that. He was like, I just want to see the documents for like where the money's going. And it was like in your dream where once you start reciting scripture and invoking the name of Jesus, it's just instant change.
yep,
And he gets these like security guards that are chasing him out of the building. He's getting like threatened, like, don't ever do this. And it goes so deep.
yeah,
But yeah, I also I think it's weird how churches can conveniently ignore certain verses to help it fit their narrative.
yes. Or they
Like,
twist it. They take it out of
yeah,
context.
yeah,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I also don't like the modern music. I'm okay with saying that.
I like the old hymnals.
Yeah, give
I
me a
like the old
piano
hymnals.
or an organ.
Now,
I like
I'll say there is some pretty good, uh, I listen to rock,
mhm,
okay? Like, I can listen to the death metal stuff, whatever, but there's some really good Christian bands out there
mhm,
that fit the metal. I mean, sometimes you can't even understand what they're saying,
yeah.
but you know they're praising the Lord.
Yeah,
And I can't get into the like the pop
yeah.
new stuff, and
I
just
guess what
like,
I'm like what they play at the churches,
yeah,
and it's always the same, like, 8
modern.
songs,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
they go the same way, and it's all to invoke a certain feeling.
Mhm.
You repeat the chorus or whatever 9,000 times.
Don't even get me started on that. Oh my lord, I'll be standing there like, okay, like I'm really
Yeah.
feeling the Holy Spirit, but also I'm feeling walking out now.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
what in the
hard to
world?
sing. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, you know, praise how you want to praise. I also like there was like I'm a very conservative. Remember, I don't like attention drawn to me,
mm,
so I'm not a praiser like
yeah,
that sticks their hands up while they sing, and I'm not like
yeah, I can't do that.
my hands are on the back of the chair,
Uh,
and I'm just standing there, and I'm like I'll sway side to side sometimes, but I feel like I would get heavily judged for not getting as into it as them.
mhm,
But I don't know.
yeah, I
I
do.
feel how you feel on that.
Yeah, no, it's, I don't know, there's like, when I was up in, Boone for school, there was a big church. Like, I asked people for recommendations for churches,
Mhm.
and, like, pretty much the only one I got was, like, a really huge church that was up there, and I went to some services. Good preachers, like, good preaching, they were definitely preaching from the Word, um, but the one that I ended up going to more often than not, like, I think I went to that one twice, was I ended up going to this small Baptist church that was right below where my apartment was. Pretty much only old people in there.
Mhm.
Some old wooden pews. You go
Mhm.
in, people shake your hand,
Yep.
ask about you, and play no, not tunes, hymnals up there. And they didn't have like the bass guitars and the amps and stuff. They just had somebody that laid down on the keys pretty heavy and acoustic.
Mhm.
They did have drums. Um, but
Heck
man,
yeah.
it was great.
It I really like the small churches because it shows that they're not after like money, 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 like expanding, expanding,
Mm,
expanding, and they just really care about getting the word out there.
yep.
And you know, I know people personally who really are with the Lord who do go to like the mega
Mhm.
churches and stuff. And I'm glad it fits them well.
Yeah.
They like that stuff because some people like grew up with going to like a small Baptist church and like want something different. They're tired of that. They
Yeah.
want something different and it fits them well, and that's good for them. You know, it's all about the relationship. Then I know people personally who aren't right.
Mhm.
They play whatever face they gotta play. You know, I'm a product of God, whatever. And then next thing you know, they're out here doing some horrendous stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I will pray that you make the right choices. You know, get right with the Lord. Let Him open your eyes in some kind of way, because if not, He's going to keep beating you down to remind you who's the big boss, you know? Like, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. That was a good little tangent to go on there.
Yeah, sorry. When it
No, I mean, you
irks me,
don't ever apologize for that.
it irks me when people say they're for the Lord, but they're not. I'm just like, oh, He's gonna get you.
Yeah. You're just
Like,
wearing nice clothes and shaking hands with people that you think are set up well in life.
yeah,
It's yeah. That was where the I was going with the discernment. Uh, it's oh, it just rubs me the wrong way.
look, when it comes to discernment, and It's like when you walk in a room, you can read the room before anyone talks.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
what that person's like. And a lot of times I'm the person that sits in the corner and observes
Mhm.
before I ever speak up. And I used to be the opposite because the opposite, the old me, would try to be the person talking the biggest in the room to get the most, like conversation out of. But I had to learn the hard way that like a lot of those people are like fake friends,
Mhm.
you know. And it really humbled me whenever I was in high school because I only had like one real friend, and that was my best friend to this day. And she would tell me, you know, hey, that's not your crowd. That's not your crowd. And I'm like, I'm everybody's friend.
Yeah.
You know? No.
Mhm.
Like, I would take some of my friends to the mall because I was getting Social Security checks from my mom passing, every month. I think it was like $600 a month. And instead of saving it, I'd take my friends to the mall and go shopping for them. And yeah, that didn't work out well.
Mm.
That did not work out well.
Yeah.
And who never let me, you know, pay for them because I had said money freedom, easy money, was my best friend. She was like, "You need to not spend that on me. Like, I'm not your money. We'll just, like, I'll pay for myself." And I'd be like, rude,
Yeah.
like, let me pay for you. I love you. No. She was a good friend, and I will always be, loyal to her. Like, if you have that best friend in your life that will keep you straight, like, she's never lied to me. She's never, like, talked bad about me behind my back. And she's, like, a very humble person herself. And I was like, I want to be like you. I'm glad, we have that relationship. And I, like, feel bad for people who don't have said relationship with
Yeah.
someone. And I'm like, I hope one day they can find their person in that aspect because I know in the end, like, she'll be there for me, whatever. But I'm glad God put her in my life to help bring me out of situations I didn't need to be in.
Mhm.
You know, she was like the little angel speaking in my world.
Yeah.
But
Um, but I wanna go back to this dream. I'm a big fan of those because I don't like telling most people about the dreams or, like, visions that I've had because I think most people would just think you're crazy. Um,
look, I'm all ears because I
I
got like three of them.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, will you share another one?
heck yeah, I will.
Okay, give me another one because the
So
first one's really good.
yeah, this one happened back when my mom was alive still,
Okay.
and I don't know. Uh, I was still like me and her were like in a really rough patch, and I knew like back then I feel like I was way too young to fully understand and comprehend the Bible. I do feel like it's hard for like adults to push the Bible on kids because a lot of times they say if you sin, you're going to hell, you know? And
Yeah.
of course, that's going to scare the child. But either way, during this time in my life, you know, I was not fully like comprehending and putting a full grasp on being like 100% with the Lord. So I had this dream that, like, a lot of my dreams, they haven't been lately. They're dark, very dark, and it's always storming. It's always windy, like, like cumulonimbus clouds everywhere. And, like, even my mom would say when I was little, like, I would wake up and, like, dream about tornadoes. And I would wake up and tell her, like, Mommy, I had a dream about a tornado and it came and got our house. Like, random stuff. Mind you, I've never seen a tornado in my whole life. Like, don't know why. Anyways, this was a very dark dream. I, like, pop up in a hayfield, okay? And I'm just like, okay. I'm looking around. It's like one of them, like the almost never ending fields that you would see.
Like golden.
Yeah. But it was like dark, windy, like it was about to storm very close. I could even smell the rain in the stream.
Yeah.
I looked to my right and there's like this awning. There's people under there having a party. And I'm like, I'm gonna go get some pizza. So I walk over there, and by the time I get over there, everyone's gone. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm like, well, that's all right. And I go to turn around and I get this really eerie feeling. And there's this like massive like cathedral church all the way across this field. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ask the pastor, like, hey, I need help getting home. I'm running across the field and there's like dead bodies everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm like tripping and falling over bodies. And I'm just like, and it's all my friends. All my friends. Like a lot of people I know. And I go to open up the church door. And when I open it, it's not the church. I'm like opening like a single wide trailer door. Like I'm like teleported. Like I'm opening the door. And right in front of me is a box TV and it's static. It's like,
just
you know, it's dark in the house. Can't see anything. But for some odd reason, I see that same black figure behind the TV. And the same black figure with the big, round, red, watery, bulgy eyes. And it like pops back from behind the TV. And I hear something from my right. I go to turn to my right, and the second I turn to my right, it's like jump scared. This like black wolf like comes up and like eats my face, and that's when I wake up. And I was like, what was that about? And I knew like you have random off the wall dreams about, you know, climbing like a gummy bear or something, And then you have the dreams where this was trying to tell me something.
yeah.
And
Doesn't the I don't want to speak out of turn,
oh, you're
but
fine.
doesn't the Bible have something where it says God reveals things and speaks to you in dreams?
Yeah, like
Is that right?
I would say like he would give you visions. You would have to like look it up and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I was like, I felt like it was interpreting, um,
Oh yeah.
like
All the time.
you're lost.
I guess he
And
does it. I'm sorry.
no, you're
He
fine.
he does it a lot through just it actually happening
Mhm.
and not just saying straight up. Well, it does say it too. So yeah, all throughout it. Okay.
Yeah, 50-50.
Good now.
Yeah. And I feel like with that dream, it was definitely telling me like I'm not where I need to be, like I wasn't home. And it like and I remember opening the door and I was like, "Father?" I didn't say pastor, I didn't say hello. I just like it like spoke out and it was like, "Father?" And like I was looking for God in a way. 'Cause trust me, I was looking up what does it mean like if a black wolf like eats my
Yeah.
face in my dream. Like, I was trying to look it up. And obviously like it's hard to like believe what a lot of things say, but there was a lot of people that would say like they would have dreams about the black figure with like the red bulgy watery eyes. And uh I was like, you know what? That was what made me think like, you know, at that time and at that age that I was at, I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
What are you trying to tell me? And I think it was like 2 years after that was when my mom died. Yeah. And oh, I also had a dream.
Do you have them often, or are they just kind of like big events when they happen?
No, they're kind of like big events. Like I think I know three dreams. I told you two. I know three. Uh, like the back of my hand. I can still like envision them.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't remember their dreams. Like I'll wake up from dreams and not remember what I dreamed about. But and they've all had that same black figure. So I know that that definitely was not an angel there for me, but that was something there to scare the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
And trust me, it did. Because I definitely was like trying to look for a sign, like what do I need to do and whatnot.
I used to always have dreams growing up. Like I would have a nightmare every single night. It was like scheduled. And it was for about maybe 5 years straight. It's one of those dreams that's still ingrained in my head. And most of the time, I'd say 3 or 4 days out of the week, it was this one dream, the exact same thing.
Oh, that's
And it
exhausting.
was, uh, well, every dream I had was somebody trying to kill me. Every single one of them. But this one was, I was in it was like a desert almost, like a wasteland. Um, but there were train cars, empty train cars,
Okay.
all dispersed around like metal trash cans and stuff, just like dystopian almost.
Hmm.
And in one of the train cars, it was my family. It was my parents, my sister, my grandparents.
Hmm.
And I would walk out of that trailer
Hmm.
and immediately something was chasing me. And so I would run all throughout this little area. And it was really small, but I would run all throughout trying to get away from what chased me. And sometimes it would get me, and sometimes I would make it back. But they were always trying to just be like, just stay here, just like stay in the train car.
Hmm.
I don't know what that meant, but it was like, it was crazy. That was one where somebody was trying to kill me, but all of them were just me running around somewhere. And I could feel the stuff in my dreams, like if I got chopped or shot, whatever it
Hmm.
was. And it was painful. I mean,
Yep.
bad. But the craziest ones are when I've been awake and it just gets like induced and thrown on me. Those are the those are the powerful ones.
Yeah. Have you had the ones where like, because I've had dreams where they were the same dreams before, but they wouldn't be within the same week. They would be years apart. Like, but you would learn from said first dream
Oh,
on how to navigate the next dream.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Have you heard of like the broken bone theory? Like,
yeah,
have you ever
yeah.
broken any
Nope.
bones? Okay. Supposedly, like, the ones who have never broken a bone were the ones who were to deal with more mental hardships than
Mm-mm.
physical. And I've never broken a bone.
Hey,
So, yeah.
I don't know, breaking them all don't sound too bad.
Eh,
No,
uh,
it's I don't know, it's a different hill to climb.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure you've dealt with physical stuff as well that you had to overcome and get through.
Birth.
Um, that's the one I was thinking of. Uh,
Yeah, that was not a fun time.
yeah. Do you think I wanted to ask my sister this, but I couldn't bring myself to it. Do you think the verse in the Bible where it says the woman will like she goes through the most excruciating thing and then the child is born and then like right after she forgets the pain because of the incredible joy that she has? Like
Yeah.
not forever, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you think was that true for you or no?
Was I sore? No. Like, I had a little bit of complications afterwards with my blood pressure. Like, I threw up a lot.
Mm,
I threw up so much. They were keeping buckets in my room
yeah,
because I just could not stop throwing up. I couldn't keep anything down. I mean, that was annoying, but I feel like God was preparing me for it because my whole pregnancy was a sick pregnancy. I threw up. I had morning sickness, dinner sickness. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night and just go throw up and come back like, hey, I'm all right,
yeah,
you know? But there's no telling. But I feel like at that moment, I definitely forgot about the pain when it came to after giving birth to her. But now, when it came like the first week, I think I stayed awake for like 5 days straight. That was some strength God had put in me. I was awake. I probably maybe got like an hour of sleep within those 5 days. in like 5 minute increments. But I was
Dang.
fine. I was fine. I was mentally sane. And I was like, this is my purpose. Like, God didn't put me here for nothing. Like, I believe in him. I believe he's gonna make me come out strong and, will I ever have a kid again? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I, I feel like I'm gonna trust in him,
Yeah.
and he's gonna lay it on my heart if, like, if I want another kid or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is gonna be on me, but he'll, I feel like I need just a little bit more strength in a way, just because of like everything with my family or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right. Well, the podcast is called Finish the Race.
yes.
So, what would your advice be for somebody going through a tough upbringing? Um, Maybe a little girl out there that's,
Mm,
you know, an abusive parent. I know we hadn't got into that as much on the mic.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, it would be a very hard movie to watch, I feel like. Um, if they had and I don't mean that as a insult or anything, but
uh,
you've got some horror stories of
yeah.
of growing up. So what would you tell that little girl? You get to go back and talk to Taylor. What do you tell her?
Oh man. Hmm. I would tell her, you know, trying to think if like I'm gonna speak in adult terms or children terms, but no matter the pain and the trials and the difficulty and the loneliness and the depression and everything that you're gonna go through is nothing compared to what joy, happiness, blessings that you're gonna have in the future. Just trust in God's timing.
Romans 8:18. Yeah.
I really hold on to that because when I'm having like a bad day,
Mhm.
it's like, you know what? Tomorrow might be a fantastic day. So
Yeah.
let me look forward to that and not worry about the bad day. And, I'm going to grab those thoughts and throw them away and give them to God. And like, I think I like said it before, I would go through everything again just to have the outcome that I have today. I'm happy where I sit in life and I'm content and I'm so grateful for everything that I have and the opportunities that I've had in life. And like, if I get the opportunity to like tell people my testimony, because a lot of people don't know what I went through. Because I'm like non serious and I'm like funny or whatever, but a lot of times the funniest person in the room is the one that went through the most trauma. And like, I love to be able to tell people my testimony and let them know, like, no matter what, be grateful for the life that you do have
Yeah.
because you only get one shot.
Hmm.
Make something out of it. If you had a really crappy life, please just trust in him. He's going to pull through for you, but you got to have faith.
Yeah.
If you don't have faith, he's not going to be able to show his works to you. And I hate that some people just give up.
Hmm.
It makes me so sad for them. But yeah, I would say that would be my thing.
That's beautiful. Oh, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom used to say, because I would question why stuff was happening with me.
Mm,
And I was just, why me? Why am I going through this? Like,
yeah.
I haven't had a break yet. I didn't even get to get started. It was just, you know, uh, full speed immediately. And I was like, I don't get it. Because I looked at my parents and, my dad's a preacher and my mom's just this amazing saint of a woman. And I was like, why is this happening to y'all? why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to my sister? Why is this happening to my family? We're praising God. We love Him. We worship Him. We're doing His work. And I mean, I grew up and then I read the Bible verses that say that's probably who's going to get it the worst.
Mm,
As far as spiritual attacks and chastening by the Lord. That's what I've read through recently in Acts. Is
mhm,
rejoice in being chastened by the Lord because it means you're one of His chosen sons.
mhm.
And but at the time, you know, that couldn't be explained to an 8-year-old.
No,
So mom,
no.
she would just say, just try. I don't know what his plan is for you, but it's going to be something big. So just look forward to it.
Yep.
And it's that same verse that you're referencing.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great testimony. I'm sorry we didn't get into more of your upbringing and stuff, but I think we'll do this again.
Yeah,
And we'll get
for two.
some, yeah, part two with Taylor. But do you have anything else, to say a lasting note to the people? If not, we can just roll with the one you said, and that's okay too.
Hmm. Let me ponder.
There we go.
Um. Oh, be the friend be the friend to someone that you wish someone was to you. Testify to someone and do the best you can to show them the Lord and that it's not God hurting you, it's the people. And like help that friend, you know. Let me see how I'll put it. Just be such a good friend to hold said person accountable.
Yeah.
Just in that sense, like I'm glad I had a friend like that to hold me accountable and, you know, be the friend that I, you know, wish I had with a lot of other people, but just always be kind to people. You never know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
Like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. Just because they're laughing and having fun, that could be the darkest time of their life. And, you know, you never know.
Yeah.
So,
That's great. Well, thank you for doing this.
yes,
This was wonderful.
I had fun.
I'm glad you did. Yeah, it took as this always does, it always takes a turn that I never saw coming. But I feel like you just gotta let it go and let God, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get all
Yeah.
start Bible thumping, you
Yeah.
know, but I just let him control my heart.
Yeah.
So,
Just let it go.
let him lay it on me.
There you go. Well, thank you again. This was awesome. Thank you all for watching. This is another episode of Finish the Race. We will see you next time.
Yep.